With the 31st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, Florida.
So they do take a receiver, and it's Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall is coming off a great year, and somebody who also went to the Senior Bowl and showed up down there. Charles and I saw him down there. Michael Gallup was my comparison. Route polish. And one of the things when you watch him, he's so crisp. When he gets to the top of his route, they appreciate that. This is the best catch anybody had all year long. You won't see a better catch than that one, to be able to haul that one in. Tracking the ball again, outstanding hands. They value that everywhere, but especially with Kyle Shanahan. Can you run through the catch point? Can you run clean routes? And are you reliable with your hands? He's a really good player, CD.
And he'll be one of those guys that shows up early, stays late, absolutely loves ball. Joel, you remember him at Arizona State?
I do. I was just going to say, he was all the way back with Jaden Daniels.
There's a certain quarterback who went number 2, threw the ball to Ricky Pearsall. And now you're taking a look at what Ian was talking about. What happens with Ayuk, we don't know, but Pearsall's there, Kittle's still there, Debo. It'd be interesting to see how they continue to fashion things, but Kyle Shanahan, one of the best play diagrammers that we know.
And you saw all of that tape. He can play in the slot. You can bring him around on those little, I call them like circus motions. You can be creative with Pearsall because 1, he's smart, 2, he's reliable, and 3, he's always going to create some level of separation. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to love that about Ricky Pearsall.
Hot dang! Ricky Pearsall, 42-inch vert. 4.3 40, 4.4 40. Extreme athlete. Great route polish. Tell us about him, Buck.
Love him. Love his game. This is a route runner extraordinaire. He has all the tricks of the trade when it comes to getting open over the middle of the field. Great hands, great ball skills. Really has mastered the craft and the art of getting open. This is a big-time playmaker, someone that can get it done, has the run-after-catch ability that the Niners love. Maybe, just maybe, this is a signal, a smoke signal.
Yeah. All right, Lance, you were starting to feed into it.
Yeah, I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be on the way out, and I think Ricky Pearsall, that's the catch of the year. That catch that he made was absolutely, I didn't know I was going to run into it when I watched tape, and I probably spent about 34 minutes on it. It was unbelievable. Ricky Pearsall, from a separation standpoint, Ricky Pearsall is as good as anybody in this draft is separating, other than maybe, the pure speed of Xavier Worthy and Malik Neighbors. But Ricky Pearsall has very good hands. You can't guard him in the slot. And then he's got the ability, I think, to win physically against smaller nickels and then separate against bigger players as well. And then what really impressed me was what he did at the Combine. I think that's what pushed him into the first round for San Francisco is he ran a 4.41, jumped over 40-inch vertical leap. I mean, this is an elite athletic profile for Ricky Pierce, and that's what pushed him into the first round. People say Combine doesn't matter. Combine matters.
Oh, yeah.
Combine matters, trust me.
And a little bit more of a compact, kind of physical body than a player like Ladd McConkey, who we also kind of thought was in this group. They were compared similarly, but if you like Ladd, well, do you like a bigger, faster Ladd? Right.
Because Ricky is kind of bigger and faster.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there. I mean, Ladd ran 4.39, I think, ended up. But yeah,
did he run that fast?
Yeah,
he got down.
Yeah.
Wait a minute now.
Sleeping on him.
With the 64th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers select Renardo Green, DB, Florida State. Detroit, I love you.
Yeah, Renardo Green, when you're watching him, the game that you're going to hang on to if you're a big fan of Renardo Green is the battle he had against Malik Neighbors. He was very competitive in that game. He's got really quick feet, and he's an outstanding blitzer. Here he is in that game against LSU, getting his head around, cutting him off down there in the red zone, poking that ball away. See some of the mirror and match skills underneath. Very feisty, very competitive. His size sometimes is someone who's 186 pounds. There are times he gets run over a little bit trying to get in there and make plays against the run. Will Shipley got him in that Clemson game, but there's a willingness there in terms of the toughness, and that's something you can build with there, Joel.
led the ACC in passes defended with 14, and you touched on that film against LSU. They handled LSU that night, opening the season. That was a huge matchup, a lot of hype surrounding the LSU team, and rightly so because of what we saw the rest of the year. Florida State shut them down. A lot of that was Renardo Green. He's got safety in his background as well, CD, but mostly outside corner last year.
Tutored by former NFL cornerback Jeremy Lincoln, does a great job with him. And one of the things that Daniel touched on is a big part of his game. He doesn't know he's 186 pounds. He thinks he's 220, and he wants to take on everyone. So he's got that toughness element to him. But I do believe San Francisco's going to want him to be on an outside corner and try and find a spot there opposite Travaris Ward.
We were literally just talking about Renardo Green as one of the best available corners.
I better recognize
San Francisco 49ers, Lance Zierlein. Take him off the board.
He's in the 4th round. Hey, NFL people tell me he's in the 4th round. You better recognize Renardo Green can ball. All you have to do is turn on the LSU game where he was checking not just Malik Neighbors, but Brian Thomas. All you're going to see here is a hound dog. Like, you cannot get away from him. Yep. Underneath, he has rare change of direction quickness. He's built kind of low to the ground, and I couldn't believe how quickly he could snap off those comeback routes. You know, Bucky, as a DB, there's some guys who are just the center of gravity is just a little too high. They just can't stop and come back. But Renardo Green is on every route underneath. It was just unbelievable to watch. There is some question about his long speed, and he's not the biggest cornerback, but I think he is a really talented cornerback. There's a difference of opinion around league circles, but for me, he's someone that I brought up early on in the process because I like guys that can make plays, and I like guys that can slow down Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. You slow down Malik Neighbors, and you got my attention, and he did that early this year.
Yeah, Renardo Green, there's some love. Like Lance, I gave Lance some credit. We started talking about him, buzzing. I think we talked about him a few times on Path to the Draft. Lance tipped me off to him. We started looking at the tape, and you're right. That LSU game, he's nose to nose, and you called him a hound dog. I call him a junkyard dog.
Yeah,
he is not afraid of the smoke. He is energetic, competitive, and that competitiveness is contagious. He's a nice fit in San Francisco.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 86th pick to the San Francisco 49ers. And with the 86th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers select Dominick Puni, guard from Kansas. Happy birthday, Tommy Harris.
And thus the Kansas run begins. Puni, very versatile. I'm a big fan of his game. Balance, awareness, poise. Another one, we've mentioned this a bunch. Jim Nagy does a good job at that Senior Bowl. Gets all these guys down there. It's a competitive environment. He's one that helped him there, showing the versatility to play all these different spots. But he's got really, really strong hands. He plays well in space. He's efficient in all of his change of direction, movement, can get out there. Again, someone who's played left tackle. CD, I believe he's going to be one of those tackles that has a chance to be a starting guard in the NFL.
I think that's where he's headed. That certainly feels like it, and that's what we saw in the versatility of the Senior Bowl, where he took a lot of reps. But he is part of what we're seeing, Joel, of guys coming up levels and playing well. Jarrett Verse, University of Albany, first-round pick, going to the Minnesota Vikings. This kid played at Central Missouri and then did his thing at Kansas. Lance Leipold has done a fantastic job with that program in the Jayhawks.
Here is the Niners selection that was just announced.
Yeah, and CD, this is one of your guys here, Malik Mustapha, who's only one interception this year, but I thought one of the best tackling players in the secondary in this draft class.
Love this guy. When you turn on the tape, I put him in my pound the table deal. Peter, when you turn on the tape, he almost looks like he's playing a little bit more sped up than others. He just appears suddenly, and all of a sudden, boom, he's in the picture, and look at that. He makes the play. Love this kid.
Okay, so let's go back to the public address announcer for the Bucs pick.
With the 129th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Isaac Guerendo, running back, Louisville. Vamos Niners y viva México.
Vamos Niners!
Yeah, we've seen some running backs roll off the board, and this is one with outstanding size and speed. It ran a 4.33 That tells you about the burst that you're going to see when you watch him on film. A downhill, aggressive style runner. Runs with those high knees, like old school high knee runner. You don't see that very often. I think there was a ton of wiggle and make miss there, CD. But this is someone who can hit home runs and also, I thought, had good balance in pass pro as well.
Yeah, really good contact balance as he goes through traffic. Ben Fennell, one of our great teammates here, was working with me about Isaac Guerendo. And my first thought was, is he an Isaiah Pacheco light type of a guy? And Ben gave me a better comp, Justin Fargas. Remember him coming out of USC in Michigan? Home run hitting guy. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, that's your next gen stats presented by AWS. See him right there at the very top.
With the 135th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jacob Cowing, wide receiver, Arizona. Yeah, baby! Baby, Notre Dame!
I thought they might take Xavier Worthy. There was a chance that could happen in the first round because when you look at Tank Dell and how he did in this exact same offense in Houston, that maybe Kyle Shanahan would want a player like that. Well, this is a similar vibe here.
Bobby Sloak, offense coordinator of Houston, came from Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, exactly. They run the same offense. So, to me, this is a guy who, at that size, at only 168 pounds, started 57 straight games, and he also caught a pass in each of those 57 straight games. 4.38 speed, big-time burner, big-time speed.
So it's only fitting that we wrap up this fourth round with a guy named Cowing.
For the 215th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jarrett Kingston, tackle, USC.
You say tackle, I'm going to say guard at USC. At least that's where he's going to play. 37 career starts, as you see there. At Washington State, got it done. They brought him into the transfer portal, brought him back over. Plays with good punch-ready hands. He plays the game with, whoever's taught him. Has done a nice job from a pass set standpoint. He plays with good technique, uses good grip strength, moves his feet, kind of a narrow base power zone type of blocker. So there's some limitations there.
With the 251st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Tatum Bethune, linebacker, Florida State.
70 tackles for him, actually led this Seminole squad.
You know, his linebacker, my first line of my scouting report is his linebacker play won't make it on most teaching tape, but it doesn't take much time to figure out that he is a football player. And so that's ultimately what you want at this point. You may have some things that aren't neat and nice because we're in the 7th round, but he knows how to play ball.